Hi there, my fellow gamers and creators. This is the newest addition to MSI Stealth lineup, the aptly named 14 Studio. And to say it with the words of somebody much wiser than myself, there is no bad product, just bad pricing. And this pretty much hits the mark with this one. While almost everything about the powerful small notebook is actually pretty good, it's terribly expensive and therefore has to go head to head with much higher end notebooks. But as always, let's start at the beginning. Our sample of this sleek, clean-looking notebook comes with Intel's i7-13700H, 16 gigs of DDR5-5200 RAM, a 1TB SSD, a 16x10 240Hz QHD panel and an RTX 4050. All of this can be yours for around 2,400 euros here in Europe, putting it on par with an RTX 4060 equipped ROG G14 and a few $100 above the excellent Lenovo Legion Slim 514 re-reviewed recently. And that is a very tough spot to be in for a 14-inch performance notebook. While the Stealth is equally focused on gamers and creators, the design is a bit more reminiscent of the former. The sharp angular lines and RGB lighting definitely stands out when compared to something like the Yoga Pro, for example. That said, it's subtle enough for you to be able to bring it to the office or on assignment, and it offers a unique look with quality materials. The whole chassis is made from a magnesium alloy and the base is very flex resistant, while the screen is a bit too bendy for our liking. The port situation is alright, with the most necessary connections you would expect. On the left you can find the power connector, HDMI 2.1 and a USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 with the complete package from DisplayPort to power delivery. On the right you can find a Thunderbolt 4 port, USB-A 3.2 Gen 2 and the audio combo port. While this assortment isn't bad, a second USB-A or at least a card reader would have been great to see. For wireless connections, the Stealth delivers once more solid but average results. While the webcam isn't really worth talking about, with a meager 720p resolution and very lackluster quality. Getting inside the Stealth is a bit of a chore since you have to remove quite a large part of the lower chassis. Once inside though, you get access to the Wi-Fi card and the single NVMe slot. In the input department, the keyboard feels quite snappy, but without any form of even remotely satisfying feedback, a very shallow feel overall and an almost non-existent pressure point. That said, you can get up to speed pretty quickly and it should be alright once you're used to it. The clickpad feels smooth with a pretty spacious surface area, but very similar to Lenovo's Yoga Pro lineup, the clicks feel very shallow and quite cheap. The Stealth's display is a bit of a mixed bag. Last year it would have been a great option in such a small notebook with decent overall specs. But this year, with so many competitors offering OLED or mini LED options, the small MSI left us wanting a little bit, especially considering its price tag. While 400 nits average brightness is alright, contrast is very low due to the very high black level. Color gamut coverage is in turn really good, and we have been able to bring down delta E's below 1, which is great news for anyone wanting to use this puppy for photo or video editing. The good news continue with no detectable PWM and very fast response times. On the performance side of things, the Raptor Lake i7-13700H is again painting a decent, but once more pretty average picture. The improvements to last year's 12700H are pretty minor, and competing notebooks with either the same or AMD Zen 4 chips in similar chassis are mostly a few percentage points ahead in our performance rating. By the way, if you want to dive into all of our detailed results, like benchmark scores for single and multi-core loads or our system performance tests, well, you know the drill. Make sure to check out our written review on the website. The drive used by MSI in the Stealth is a pretty fast one, but unfortunately the chassis was not able to maintain those transfer rates indefinitely. That said, our benchmark loops are basically a torture test, so do not expect any major problems or slowdowns during everyday use. In the GPU department, the RTX 4050 can properly flex its muscles, which are quite substantial for it being the smallest of the latest Nvidia Ada mobile cards. In our 3D Mark rating, it can outrun most of the competition with similar form factors and the same chip, thanks to its 90 watts power target. It can even keep up with the lower wattage RTX 4060 found in the new Flow X13, which we reviewed recently. In our gaming rating, the Stealth performs pretty alright, even though you would have to be realistic about what to expect from the smaller RTX 4000 card. That said, story games are relatively easily playable in the display's native QHD resolution, especially if you keep things like DLSS and frame generation in mind in supported titles. If you want to go beyond 60 FPS, you would have to drop the resolution to 1080p, even though you will not get even remotely close to the display's 240Hz refresh rate. The Stealth might be equipped with a vapor chamber, but in terms of fan noise, it doesn't really seem to bring any benefits here. Not only is the small notebook pretty loud under load, but even in idle scenarios, the two fans ramp up every now and then without any plausible reason. As always, we took some noise samples for you so you can get an idea of what to expect. Battery runtimes, even with the display set to 60Hz, are also just barely average as well. It might be alright for a gaming notebook, but for something also catering to creators, you might be expecting a bit more. Alright folks, it's about time to wrap it up for this one. The Stealth 14 Studio tries to do everything really well, but in doing so, it falls short in quite a few areas that directly affect your user experience. The annoying fan noise behavior, lackluster inputs, just average I/O and a so-so display option, giving it a hard time against some of the competing notebooks within this do-it-all field that also end up being better priced. Gaming performance on the other hand is exceptionally good for an RTX 4050, and so is performance for GPU accelerated creator applications, making this a capable, if not perfect, work and play hybrid. But please folks, let us know what you think about this one. And if you want to know more about the Stealth, check out our review on the website. That shall be it for today. Please leave your like and sub if you felt entertained, and for more things tech and laptops, check out some of our other videos. Thanks a ton for watching folks, my name is Alex, you have been awesome, and I cannot wait to see you all in the next one. Take care.